It's 16 to 4, Jazz Radio 94.1 FM. And Paul and Ben China are two of Australia's very promising young filmmakers. They've just released their debut film called Crawl. It was made here on the Gold Coast, and Paul China is on the line. Paul, thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Oh, no, my pleasure, John. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Well, Paul, your new film has been described as a suspense thriller. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, it's a character-driven suspense thriller, and we filmed it on the Gold Coast late last year. Even though it's not really a quintessential Australian film, it's influenced by the likes of Roman Polanski, Alfred Hitchcock, and even the Coen brothers.
Yeah, well, Alfred Hitchcock, of course, the master of suspense. Now, although the film is actually set on the Gold Coast, there are no identifying characteristics to show where it's set and no references to time and date. What was the thinking behind that?
Well, we really wanted to be a story that could essentially take place anywhere. So that's why we withheld references to dates, time and place and what have you. And so we wanted to be a universal story. So for the story to sort of basically exist within its own bubble, and therefore sort of more audiences can connect with it. And I mean, there are sort of Australian traits in the film, obviously with the accents and some scenery and what have you, but really it is a universal story.
Well, you and your brother Ben wrote the film. How long did it take you to put it all together and get it to the stage where it could actually be filmed?
That probably took, I would say, just under 2 years. So the writing process didn't actually take too long, but then getting the project together in terms of getting our cast and our crew and obviously the finances, getting it all together took, I'll probably just say, under 2 years.
Well, did you use local actors for the film?
We did use some local actors, but we used actors from all around. So we got some from Sydney, some from Melbourne, and even Perth. Right,
well, you picked up some awards at the recent Hollywood Screamfest festival. That must have been very encouraging.
Oh, absolutely. It was fantastic. I mean, it was just a pleasure to go there. I mean, we had a world premiere there at the Screamfest Festival, and it's a renowned festival, a prestigious festival even. It's done very well, and a lot of filmmakers have gone there with their first-time films and done really, really well. So for us to go there and just to be accepted was an honour, but even to win 3 awards, that was just fantastic for us. So, yeah, we were over the moon.
Yeah, well, the next step is distribution. How difficult is it for local filmmakers to get distribution for their films in Australia?
In Australia, it's extremely difficult, particularly if you're doing a genre film and you are a small-budget film like us. In terms of international sales, it's not so difficult. I mean, we went over to the States and we did very, very well. But in terms of getting distribution in your own home country, it proves to be a bit of a challenge. But we're still hoping to have our film released in cinemas next year.
Well, I noticed that the film marks a return to the screen for Linda Stoner, who was one of our very popular actresses back in the 70s and 80s. Good to see her back in film.
It certainly is. Yeah, we sort of dragged her out of retirement, basically. I think it was close to 20 years that she hasn't acted. So, of course, we always knew of her, and we thought it'd be fantastic to get her back on screen for a small cameo. And, yeah, she did a great job, Yeah, well, that's great to see. Now, what's in future for the China brothers? The future, we're still working on Crawl, obviously, at the moment in terms of getting it out there, but we have our next project in development. That's a dramatic thriller as opposed to a suspense thriller. So it has a bit more heart to it, and we're looking at filming that probably overseas, and hopefully that will get off the ground next year.
Well, Paul, it's great to talk to you, and we wish you every success with your new film, Crawl. Now, you're going to be a special guest at the Gold Coast Indie Film and TV Network. That's happening at the basement at the Arts Centre tomorrow between 6:30 and 9:30. That should be a lot of fun.
Oh, that should be great. Yeah, it'd be a great opportunity to talk to people, for people to hear the insights about how we got the film off the ground and how we made it. And, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
So you'll be talking at this network as to how you actually put it all together, and I guess taking questions from some of the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I mean, it's me and my brother will be there, and also Paul Holmes, who's one of the actors in the film, so he'll be there as well. So I'm sure he'll have some interesting and comical anecdotes.
Great to talk to you, Paul, and once again, good luck with the film. I hope it goes really well. I hope you get overseas distribution.
Oh, thank you very much, Sean. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
It's now 11 to 4, Jazz Radio 94.1 FM, and that was Paul China. We were talking about his new film that he's actually made here on the Gold Coast called Crawl, keeping the community in mind. Jazz Radio 94.1 FM. Next up, James Morrison.